Hello friends, I am Ashish, your instructor. Now let's talk about the concept of VDC, that is Virtual Device Context. This is one of the most popular features of Nexus environment. VDC means you create a logical boundary or kind of partition in physical chassis. Right now I have this 7010 series device which has 10 modules and almost 100 plus ports of 10G capacity. So instead of giving this device to a single customer, I can make use of this concept of VDC and divide it into multiple chassis. For every customer, this device will look like a separate switch for them. Alright, so if this is a switch, I can create three more switches out of it, and every switch will have same functionality. The only thing that I need to do is to manage those from the main VDC, or you can say default VDC, or the actual chassis. Okay, so right now you can see that if I do show VDC, okay, there are four VDCs created: one, two, three, four. Maximum number of VDCs depend upon the supervisor engine. If you have sup1, then you can create up to 4 VDCs including your default. This is the default. VDC1 is always the default one. If you have sup2, then you can create up to 5, where 4 plus 5, 1 is for default management only. If I do show module, you can see that it's a sup1. It means I can create up to 4 VDCs. Okay, so I just need to move ports into those VDCs so that those switches uh, those switches can work efficiently. Okay, if there's a requirement of allocating 10 ports to a customer, I can move those 10 ports from this default VDC into that. Okay, and how to check membership, how to check which ports are part of which VDC. The command is show VDC membership. If you see the first one, it has actually VDC 0, it doesn't have any interfaces. VDC 1 has these many interfaces. Okay, VDC 2 has these many interfaces, VDC 3 has these many, and VDC 4 has all these interfaces. Okay, my default VDC is this one. Actually this is my default VDC. So I have these many interfaces. How to check? You can see that 3/1 till 4/32. Show interface status. Okay, you can see that it starts from 3/1 and it goes till 4/32, and only these interfaces were visible when we did show VDC membership. See, and these like this VDC, actually it has become a separate switch now. It will have CPU, means control plane will be divided as well. So from user point of view, he'll think that he's connected to a different switch named DC1N7K-3, but he wouldn't know in reality that this switch is a part of actual physical chassis. Okay, that is N7K, DC1-N7K. And from the default, this chassis, this VDC, you can manage all of the other VDCs. Okay, if you want to enter into that other VDCs, the command is switch to VDC and define what is the number of that, or you can simply say DC-N7K. Okay, DC1 actually, N7K3. If I want to move into this VDC, I would have to mention the name of that. Okay, and hit enter. Now you see that I have entered into this VDC. This is one of the ways from logging into different VDCs from default. Other way is that you configure IP addresses, you implement routing protocol, and you make sure that connectivity is there. Okay, and you can even see that if you do show CDP neighbor, you will find some devices connected to this VDC as well. If you do show interface status, you will not find other interfaces into this because you are now into VDC number 3, and these are the interfaces allocated to it, and these are routed, means that layer 3, and these are actually layer 2. Alright, and functionality of this device will be exactly the same. You can run all commands, show run, show version, and show IP interface brief in case you have the IP address assigned, show VRF. So everything will be same. And if you want to connect this VDC to the default VDC or any other VDC, then you require to use a cable. Okay, don't think that they would be in like they would be connecting connectivity internally. It is not going to happen. You have to connect it as if these are different devices, even if these all interfaces belong to same chassis. Now these will work as a different chassis. Okay, these are by default created. Now from non-default VDC I cannot move to any other VDCs. Okay, there is no switch to command. The only command is switch back. I can go back to default, but I cannot go to VDC number 2 or VDC number 4. That you need to know. Okay, even if you are the admin of this VDC, you cannot make changes into other VDCs. Okay, you need to be network admin for that. That role is only possible if your user account is created in main default chassis or default VDC. You can see show user account, show user account. Okay, this is a VDC admin right now. Okay, this user will not be able to make changes into other VDC because this is VDC admin. Though this means you have read and write access to make changes only in this particular switch, that is N7K-3, but you cannot make changes into the other. For that you need to be network admin, which is only possible if you are a part of default VDC. Now let's go back to switch back, that is main VDC and N7K1. See this command. Otherwise you can configure IP address. I told you can create static route, default route, whatever, and make sure that reachability is there. You can use SSH, telnet, whatever you want to do. Alright, but there are certain commands that can only work from the default VDC, like licensing. You cannot update the license from non-default VDCs. You cannot upgrade your complete chassis from non-default VDC. And also remember one thing: when any global change happens, or when like you're trying to upgrade any module using EPLD image, or you're trying to uh, you know move the ports from one VDC to other, that will only happen from default. Okay, so it is a kind of manager.